But
Let's go ahead and talk about Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly" 10-year anniversary. B,
B,
as someone who is first of all, I want to get this out the way. Is this a classic?
yeah,
B.
yes,
I saw on Twitter
yes.
this weekend that it's a cult classic. It goes from the same person I
I
was
think
sending
this is.
you tweets about earlier.
Oh
He
yeah,
said the
bro.
same
That kid.
thing.
He said it was a cult classic.
Yeah, he said it's not a
Yeah,
classic. He said Good Kid, Mad City is the classic. He said this is a cult classic, guys. Like, come on, like this isn't a classic.
I think this is a classic, bro.
I do as well.
Yo, yeah.
Quality of music, rapping performance, the actual
Concepts.
concepts thematically. I think
Mm-hmm.
this album has everything. It even has the radio friendly songs. Has
Mm-hmm.
really great songwriting. This is the one time. This is one of the few times on this channel that you will see me glaze a Kendrick album. But I will admit,
This,
B,
yeah.
I didn't like this album like that back then.
Nuh-uh.
I did not. I wasn't on this type of timing. I was in college. I was a freshman. All this blackety black woke stuff. I don't give a f about that. I didn't. I listened to
He's
this. I'm like,
like,
oh, new Kendrick Lamar after Good Kid, Mad City. I said, oh, I'm hyped. I
mm-hmm.
listen to this. I'm like, what the f is
What is
this?
this?
I'm like, what am I listening to right now? Now I like the song King Kunta. I like the song These Walls. I'm talking about back then. I love everything now.
Yeah.
I liked All Right. I thought it was cool, even though I thought All Right was a bit corny back then. But actually going back to this album, even though I re-listened to this album a few years after that, back when we was vinyl collecting. I
Mm-hmm.
re-listened to it. I'm like, okay, I had to put my respect on this album. Like I was tripping
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger, but I was younger though, so
Mm-hmm.
that's an excuse. That's a good excuse. I was younger. I wasn't ready for this type of stuff. But going into this album right here, first off, to start off with Wesley's Theory, having that little funk in there with George Clinton and
Mm-hmm.
Thundercat. Oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
what are we doing right here?
Every nigga is a
Is a
star.
star.
Doo-doo-doo.
Oh, the
Oh.
way that Kendrick was flowing on there. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
this is a. I don't know, B. This might be my favorite Kendrick intro to an album.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got the next track for free, which I thought it was cool, especially as an interlude. I'm like, I'm glad. It feels like that spoken word type thing happening right here. I thought this was cool. I didn't have no problem with this song. I know some people kind of use this as a meme back then, which it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got the first single. Oh, I don't know if this is the first single, but we had the first single on the actual track list. King
Mm-hmm.
Kunta. Thought it was cool. I was like, all right. I enjoy this now. It's a little bump.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bop. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not my favorite song on here. Then we get Institutionalized, which I love this song. And to
Yeah.
me, every time I hear this song, I don't know why I think of FD Signifier's videos because he be having this instrumental in the background, some of
Mm.
his videos right here. But also it reminds me of that era of hip hop when people had this instrumental in the background of their videos too. But yeah, I like the fact that Snoop Dogg doesn't really have a verse on here because I but Bilal did a good
Narrating.
job, Analyze did a good job. Yeah. These Walls, phenomenal song. Every time I hear that song,
Amazing.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Then the
If this was
perspectives
war.
of him talking about like I guess the walls in different situations. I'm like, all right, I
Mm-hmm.
love this. Uh
The
You
interior
is a
was pink.
song. You is cool. I thought you was cool.
You was probably like
I'm not gonna
one
say
of my favorites, like
it's
Kendrick songs. I'll
like
talk about
top
it.
five for you.
More of a personal thing. Yeah, not by like, oh, this, but like writing, introspection, topic.
Mm.
Yeah,
Would you put this up there with Sing for Me, Dying of Thirst? Sing
yeah,
About Me,
I
Dying of
think
Thirst?
so. This is very like this was a really good song.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just mhm. Heavy.
Uh, then we got All Right, which I think is cool in the context of the album. Then we get For Sale, the interlude. Then we
Hmm.
get Mama. I really like Mama. Mama is probably one
Yeah.
of my top five favorite songs on this project. To me, this is where like my favorite songs start coming together on this project, and it just starts going back to
Hmm.
back. Mama, Hood Politics. First of all, his rapping performance on Hood Politics is crazy to me. One of his best rapping performances
Hmm.
for me. How much a dollar cost? James Fauntleroy, Ronald Isley. Ooh, Ronald Isley singing on here though.
That
You just brought
production on
that.
that, bro, is insane.
I agree. Then we get Complexion with a great Rhapsody verse. Oh
I
my
love how she
God.
ended that.
And then he told Rhapsody to come in. Which one is the song where he talks about Killer Mike? Oh, if y'all say, oh, that was hood politics. So he's like, oh, if y'all really wanted real hip hop, Killer Mike will have a Grammy or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Then we get the Black of the Berry, which, oh my God, this is a great song as well.
So
Then You
hard.
Ain't Gotta Lie. This is where my favorite run of the album actually stops right here. You Ain't Gotta Lie. And then we got
Hmm.
the I love myself. I kind of thought that was
Yeah.
corny too. I get it though.
Hmm.
I get it. For me, it's corny, but I get
Hmm.
it though. Then we get Mortal Man, which I love the beginning. I love the album. I mean, I love the song until it gets to that him talking to Pac. For me, I don't care for that.
Yeah,
I
you could
get
you
it.
could
I get it. I'm not saying it's a bit of glaze, but I get it though.
hmm
I get it. People will allow the glaze when they deem that the person is worth the glaze. For me
hmm
personally, I get the conversation. He's talking to what, like an interviewed version of Pac from some interview.
hmm
I don't know what interview it is specifically, so I can't.
it was like a overseas interview, I believe. I could be wrong, but it was one
Yeah,
that wasn't like a really popular Tupac interview. Because a lot of the
yeah,
Tupac interviews are like this one caught me off guard. We're gonna talk about it, but yeah, it was like one that wasn't that big as big.
but yeah, going through the whole track list for me, like I said, my favorite run is from like Mama all the way to You Ain't Gotta Lie. I
Hmm.
love that. But B, go ahead. Let's go through your. How do you feel about
Oh,
this?
oh man. I think this is Kendrick's more magnum opus. I always thought this was his best work. I just because I think it's, even if you want to go to him being older with Mr. Morale, him speaking of therapy, but this is when he was, dealing with a lot of survivor's guilt. You know what I'm saying? Being traveling, touring, and bringing some of his friends around. So, musically, this was just production just spoke to me. Because at the time I was really into Flying Lotus, Thundercat. I was into a lot of these guys. Even this, I think Bilal put out an album that year, or a year after. But this was just in my wheelhouse at the time. I was just tapped into a lot of this stuff and like Wesley's theories, bro, like that sample from Boris Gardner. Like, come on, dog. Just it just brings you in like what's he gonna give you, and then like you said the beat switch you go into this more funk, so boom, that's that Cali, and then even for free dope little interlude and rapping on that at and just the concept of like he's bringing in a lot of like problems with black people in America, things he was like bringing their own homies to the White House, talking about Uncle Sam, y'all this it's not free no more, you just can't have me working for y'all for free no more, you know what I mean, and just King Kunta, I love that song. I heard it goes crazy in the West Coast. I heard like that because like bro doing a pop out, they went crazy when that came on, bro.
Hmm.
They was doing it, you know what I mean, so I think that's what
Hmm.
they get a little gangstified to that, you know what I'm saying? But institutionalized was like really spoke to me, especially at that time. I'm like when this album came out, you know, I'm a few years out of high school. I have friends that's getting into trouble. I got friends that's, you know, some that's trying to do like good things, but they still hanging out with some guys that's kind of like, doing a little tripping. And I just started thinking like Kendrick still being connected to his homies, and also now he's in the industry and he has to bring these people around, some of his new peers, but they looking at them like food, like, hey, hold up, bro, like, hold up. And he kind of like, man, I want to be so down and have my people around me, but I also have to like disconnect from a while because like Granny told me, you know what I'm saying? Some of these people, it just is what it is. But you want to be still connected to your homies from
To
back
your
home.
roots.
But sometimes,
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes you gotta let them go. And I love that song. Like it's these walls, like amazing song. Just from each wall you want to talk about. You know what I mean? What he was
Hmm.
bringing, even like when he talked about the poem, and you can put that in a different concept. And then you is just a song, man, that I really love because like it speaks on like your inner thoughts, like what you feel about yourself, and him getting that stuff off, talking about like how his best friend died, and then he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna watch your little brother." Then the brother died. Like, well, not did he say the brother died? Oh, the best friend died, and he was like, because he was just speaking on like, oh, he FaceTimed him one time, and he's just like, that's all you did, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And he was like, you thought he was gonna live, but he didn't live, and just dealing with that type of stuff because I don't know. It's just more. A lot of this stuff is more, especially during the times, like I said, like you'll be. I had family back home getting into stuff, and them also saying that, yo, since I left, they can't be on a straight, head. They head now. They don't got that. They don't have that
They're on
person
a
to keep them
swivel.
kind of balanced. Yeah, they don't got that person to kind of keep a balance with them. So that kind of made you like. That made me like connect with him on that. And then speaking on some of your insecurities and like, oh, you're not as good as you think you is. It's like it's that whole, we're gonna talk about the hypocrisy and stuff like that. Which,
Yeah, yeah,
Kendrick
yeah,
try to battle with this is more of like duality of a man. Like, okay, I can do this and do that, and I can feel this way, feel that way. Then you look at yourself like, damn, like I'm really ain't ish. You know what I'm saying? So then you go into All Right, which still keeps up on this theme of like, all right, man, all this stuff we going through, he kind of made it like it became like a cultural song, especially like it
Mhm.
came be like a riot song, like we gonna be all right. I always love that song. Why you thought it was a corny song? Why you thought it was a corny song? I always liked it. I just thought it was.
Back then, I was just like,
You think it's because of the whole movement that was going on, like BLM and how they was using it, or what?
I
What do you
think,
think?
in some aspects, yeah, because I just thought a lot of the things, especially the whole BLM, the
Hmm.
actual group itself, not like the actual movement,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the group itself.
the movement, yeah,
Yeah. I want to make that very clear.
yeah.
I just thought I was like, mm. It was
Yeah.
just like it felt not fluffy, but when you just say we gonna be all right, I'm like, Negro, I know I'm gonna be all right. Like you ain't gotta tell
Yeah.
me that. Like I guess it's my thing. Like who are you to tell
Yeah.
me that?
But in the
But
context
also,
of the
I
album,
really wasn't with a lot of this. Back
yeah.
then, I really wasn't a
Hmm.
lot with a lot of this because I'm just like
You didn't
mm.
understand it like that.
That, and I just really did. It didn't resonate with me because I just wasn't on that type of timing back then.
I feel you. And
I
in the
was
context of
young. I
the
was in
album,
school. I had other stuff to
yeah,
worry about.
facts. I feel you. And in the concept of the album, him speaking of like you see that from you, he was going through some stuff and then also having we gonna be all right. It's like also like an uplifter for him as well. Like I'm gonna get
Yeah,
through this. And then for
especially with
sale,
saying
we
loving
know
you
it's
is
a
complicated.
right. And for sale is is the whole devil, Lucy, America theme, you know, it's cool. It's not like my favorite, but like some when it comes to like the subject matter, I like it. But like song wise, it's not like my favorite. And like Mama is
Mhm.
like a song I like. I cried from tears of joy because one of my guys got a placement and I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? I was a
Mhm.
huge Knowledge fan since the Bandcamp days, 2011, 2012, and me knowing this beat and hearing it like made me. I remember the first time I heard it, freaked me out. Like Knowledge got a placement on a Kendrick Lamar album, bro. It freaked me out. Like, yo, this is so dope. So
So when you
just
heard this beat, was this an older knowledge beat?
yeah, it's an older Nas beat. It's been on one of his beat tapes. So it
Mm.
was just so dope hearing that and also enjoying the song as well. 'Cause I think it's a really good song. Hood
Mhm.
politics, like you said, dope rapping. It's a dope song. How much a dollar cost? It's like, man, I just love the like Run Isley at the end when he had his little. It's like it just brings you in because the production already brings you in. It feels like Kendrick telling you this story about meeting a homeless man, ask for a
Mhm.
dollar. It just the production on top of that, it
Mhm.
just makes a perfect song. Like and then Run Isley at the end, how he was getting his bag, and I was like, ooh, like
Mhm.
this is so dope. Like this is an album I go back to, every so often. So I listened to it once today, and I listened to it Friday and just hearing it, bro, just like, dang, I always think, I'm like, him being what, 27 when this dropped? I want to say 27, 26, 27, writing this stuff. It just puts you in a different, like, man, like this right here be. Sometimes you put out your best work when you're a little younger, you know what I mean? Because like, I'm just saying, I think this is him at his like uh best when it came to like putting the message out there, making a
Mhm.
dope song, and
Mhm.
also not taking back your artistry or whatever. Like not
Mhm.
trying to like. I feel like he pushed it, especially with some of the producers he was working with. And then complexion, another super dope. I love this song. It's a to me, it kind of feel good in a way. I don't know if you get that feeling from that beat.
Mhm.
Complexion, and then like you said, Rhapsody
It to
finished
me,
it
it
off
was
really
like
well.
really smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's solo, yeah. And then uh,
Complexion.
and then you hit
Mhm.
you with Black of the Berry, was just like very aggressive. You got I don't know who's the guy on the hook, but I'm pretty sure he's a reggae artist or something, right?
Mhm.
That aggression, I'm black of this, I'm black of that, and you feel that coming from complexion, and then going to You Ain't Gotta Lie, kind of real smooth track. I love You Ain't Gotta Lie because it's really smooth. Have You ain't gotta lie to kick it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Dope track. And then I loved and I like that he made a live version of it and how he, the lot like he doing a live performance. And it also had like this like message of like it's like same thing with you and all right, and then going to I and I being, like us as well. Like, bro, like it's so much stuff we got going on, and y'all trying to fight at this concert. Y'all doing it's other stuff we need to worry about, especially during the times of like the uprising of like Black America at the time. It was crazy. He had his little he had his little speech, got into his little hotel movement. Negus. What do you say? What do you say? Negus. You know what I mean?
Yes, this is the
He
origin of something. What did
yeah,
he
it's
say?
like from
He said Dave Free
Ethiopia.
told me, he said, don't say F
Don't say
Negroes,
F
because
nigga,
because
because
when I say
who
F
supposed to
Negroes,
fuck?
hear what yeah. I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he got into his hotel bag. I'm like, all right, I see you, Kendrick. Cause I was really in my power like during that time, bro. You couldn't tell me nothing, boy. I was, I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm better.
I'm black.
Black. I was super like that around that time. And then Mortal Man, really dope track as well. And then just hearing it for the first time back in the day, and just being like, wow, this is so dope how he ended it. It's because you know the concept of how the album was supposed to be called Tupac, like the acronym
Mhm,
for it. Because it's gonna make To
mhm,
Pimp a Caterpillar. Shout out to Dead in Hip Hop for that, brainstorming, doing their little thing. So that's why that interview at the end would have made more sense to people. It probably would have made people connect to it more. But I think he just left it out there like, yo, this is kind of a dope concept. Looking back at it, you could be like, I don't need this. But I didn't have to re-listen to it, but I did. I just to kind of be like, okay, it's still for some reason, it's still giving me a little chills. Cause like when it comes to Tupac, not like Kendrick, because it's just Tupac. With one thing about Tupac, we're gonna talk about on his album in a few minutes. It's just his voice, how he say stuff. You believe this man. Like you could tell, like, yo, I mean what I say. Even though he was a young man, like I say, he was young. We don't know what he would have been now. But whatever he said, he believed it, and he made sure, and like you could tell that he believed it as well. So like I know we made a video about like, yo, sometimes we gotta let him go, but I understand why the OGs hold on to Pac because he is a little different. He was a different person, you know what I mean? But
mhm.
overall, man, this album right here is phenomenal. Be certified classic to me. Great body of work. I don't think it's any misses on here for me. I can play this album all the way through. It's just I think conceptually, it's a really great album. Kendrick had didn't reach his level of therapy yet, but he was kind of trying to use music as that platform. Him like songs like you, putting out stuff like that at that moment. That's a vulnerable thing. And I remember hearing that. As what 10 years ago, I was 21 when this came out. So man, I wasn't used to stuff like that, especially in this form. I don't know, because you is not like a song that, oh man, this beat is hard. Stuff like that. Like this kind of you listen to this was like loving you is complicated. It's like, come on, bro. This like what are you doing with your voice? Like, what is this? You know what I mean? But I don't know. I really love that song. Probably my favorite song on the album, just because the vulnerability, man, and just a lot of the subject matter on here it just spoke to me. And it's still to this day, I feel like this album aged gracefully. I think it got better, and then I think it'll continue to get better with time, in my opinion. So yeah.
For me, thematically, this album is all the way there, especially
Hmm.
with the themes and the concepts that Kendrick Lamar goes for. I don't know. To me, this album, and I love the fact that Kendrick went so differently in a different path compared to Good Kid, Mad City. Because Good Kid, Mad City to me is more of like a conceptual album about his thoughts of what he
Hmm.
was thinking during that time
Hmm.
versus this is more so concepts of like what he's thinking, as an older adult, not really retelling
Hmm.
stories, but kind of like telling of his position right now as a
Now,
rapper.
yeah.
Obviously he has the fame right now, but certain things
Hmm.
like you said, he has the survivor's guilt where it's like, oh, I'm the one that made it. I'm the one that's doing this. All my homies are back
Hmm.
there. They
Hmm.
probably getting some bad stuff over there.
Hmm.
Thematically, I think I'm all the way there with this. On a good day, I agree with you. There's no skips for me on this album at all. Like I can
Hmm.
listen to this album, and the one thing I want to say about you is to me the even though it kind of feels crazy, how you have the insecurity of like loving you
Hmm.
is complicated and things like that. To me, the beat kind of sounds like it makes me claustrophobic in a way where it's
Yeah, it
like
wants you to feel that
like
way.
it's like
That's what I like about it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
But
The
I also love
uncomfortability.
the fact, yeah, but I also love the fact of some of these themes and concepts, especially him when he's speaking from different perspectives, like a song like
Hmm.
These Walls, where he's speaking,
Hmm.
about some,
Yeah, yeah.
but then he's also talking about some of the actions that these walls, quote unquote, could actually, if they could talk, this is what they would tell you what they've been seeing. So I do love those concepts. Hood Politics, like I said, is like the best rapping performance on here.
Hmm.
Complexion. I really love the actual production on here, especially the little funky
Hmm.
instrumentation that we really have on
Hmm.
this album right here, especially on songs like Institutionalized, Wesley's Theory, Complexion, How much a dollar costs. Uh, it's cool. It feels like that triumphant song, so I don't have no problem
Hmm.
with it in terms of like it going into the album. But yeah, like I said, the
Hmm.
only thing for me, and even with a long run time, like 78 minutes and 51, 78 minutes 51 seconds, that's
Hour
like what
19.
hour and 18. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I listen to this album, I didn't feel the runtime.
I never feel that either.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, you did a really good job, especially with sequencing the album and also making this a cohesive body of work because
Hmm.
it does feel like it's not a story, but it's like a journey going throughout this
So
whole
there, yeah.
project.
Hmm.
But also, there's
And
some things I like on this project versus Good Kid, Mad City, where Good Kid, Mad City, I feel like I gotta start at the beginning of the story versus if I start one song, I feel like I'm randomly being thrown into the song,
hmm
especially with it's being attached to the song. Here, I can listen to one of these songs and I don't have to go through the whole album and listen to one of these songs right here. So I think
yeah,
these are better standalone songs, but also conceptually and thematically, what the album is going for. I think that these songs actually stand out as well. On a good day, I could say that this is better than Good Kid, Mad City in terms of like me saying that this is Kendrick's best. On a good day,
yeah.
I don't know though.
I think it is. Even like if I go to like creative direction of like even not even an album, musically, just also music videos. I feel like this was like some of his best music videos he put out around that time. I think he put like 4 or 5 videos out. I love the cover was dope. I just think a lot of the stuff he built around this album was dope. Was done very well, and he
Mhm.
stepped up his game with this, bro. Because like Good Kid, Mad City, like you said, it's a period piece, pretty much of where he was at a period of his life, and this is like right now. This is what's going on right now. So I'm feeling right now, and it kind of reflected what was going on in America as well. So even with
Mhm.
some of the music videos, like the for free interlude video, and then King Kunta was dope. Like I don't know, I gotta go back and look at some of these videos, bro. I just remember
Same.
really being at the hype of like my Kendrick fandom when this dropped, like at peak right here of
I think
To Pimp a
mine would be
Butterfly.
dang. Mine would be dang. When I
Yeah, I
was at the
remember
height of the Kendrick.
you love that album. I remember.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't wait for us to do an anniversary review of that and Good Kid,
Yeah,
Mad City.
I know you love that joint, bro. I love
Yeah,
them too, but I
I ran
think
that one into the
this.
ground.
I just think this is like my favorite Kendrick album. Like this one always. I think this
I
is my
think this
favorite.
is his magnum opus, but Dang
Mhm.
is my favorite. But this is his best work,
Yeah,
especially
he
like I
did
said.
it.
To me, thematically, this rings and sounds off with me a lot.
Hmm.
But yeah,
All right.
that's about it. For To Pimp a Butterfly, let us know what y'all think about that down in the comment section down below. A classic hip hop album overall.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture